welcome to the 26th episode of the Junkie podcast. This is a podcast about my obsession with fiber. I am a knitter, a crocheter, a spinner. If it involves yarn, you can bet that I'm pretty obsessed with it. I wanted to welcome all returning viewers. Thanks so much for subscribing. There's so many podcasts out there. It blows me away that people want to come check out what I've been working on. So thank you. If this is your first time checking me out, thanks for coming. And I hope that you subscribe, or if not, that's cool too. I wanted to, right off the bat, talk about the podcasts that I've been watching. I always put it at the end of my notes and then forget to talk about it because I hardly ever turn the page to my notes. So right off the bat, let's talk about the podcast I've been watching. A longtime friend of mine, I've known her through the mommy groups and things online, just recently started a podcast. She's got a super active Instagram account. Her name is Rizza Knits, R-I-Z-Z-A Knits, and she just started a podcast by the same name this week. It's just really, really cool to be able to, I've had interaction with her online, but not in person, so it's cool to be able to see her in life, even though it's a video. You guys know what I mean, right? It's cool to hang out with her. Hi, Cassandra! Something that she touched on in her podcast that really just inspired me and made me want to open up a little bit more. She talked about suffering from bipolar disorder. And I don't really talk about this because I don't want to bum anybody out. I'm not searching for sympathy or pity or any of that. But I also suffer hugely from anxiety and depression. And my crafting plays a pivotal role in me being able to stay sane and cope with everyday life. I am a survivor of childhood abuse, and again, I don't say that for pity or sympathy. It is what it is. But if you know about psychology and things, my brain was severely affected by being abused as a child, and I struggle a lot in my adult life with just reoccurring crap from the trauma. So yeah, just making pretty things really, really helps me be whole. And yeah, I admire her for opening up about suffering from a mental disease because it's not always easy to do. And I just wanted to do the same in the event that there are other people out there like me who can relate, and you're not alone. You're not alone. It sucks and it's hard, but take it day by day and do what you can to have a healthy mind. I do a lot of exercising and working out with my dogs and going on hikes, and nature really helps connect me to a better mental state as well. I don't know how to say all of that. That was not very articulate. So thanks for listening to that. And two other podcasts that I've been watching is Pin Feathers and Pearls. She is a Canadian podcaster, Candace. She is so cute, and I just love her personality. I love the things she makes, and she's just really enjoyable to watch. And also a new podcast, and Pin Feathers and Pearls is relatively new. I only think she's got under 10 episodes, I want to say. Also, Get Lit and Knit podcast, very new. I'm thinking maybe 2 or 3 episodes. It's Allie, I believe, but she said that she plans to co-host with her friend Abby, Allie and Abby. They are a law student and medical student duo who knit and get lit to deal with the stresses of college. So that's a really refreshing podcast to watch from somebody in that stage of their life. And I really enjoy what Allie talks about and her energy, and she's just really funny. So you should check those out if you're so inclined. Again, it was Rizza Knits, Pin Feathers and Pearls, and Get Lit and Knit podcasts. So I've been watching those in addition to the others that I love and always watch. Oh, Knitting I Love. My rubber band was covering it up. Knitting I Love. I can't think of her name. Why can't I think of her name? She's a Polish girl living in Ireland. I love her accent. I really admire anybody who doesn't have English as a first language, and I am actively learning Spanish on the Duolingo app. I live in Texas, so it's the language to learn in this part of the world. It's just a practical language to be able to speak we're very close to Mexico, so there's a lot of people who live here who speak Spanish. And I really admire people, like I said, the girl from Knitting I Love, she's a Polish girl living in Ireland, and her accent's very strong Polish, but she speaks English very well. And it just blows my mind that so much of the world is, what is that word? Bilingual. Duh. Bilingual, and then America's like, we speak English. So I hope that my girls have more than one language by the time they graduate high school. So I will get right into it. I've got some FOs to show you guys. Oh, I have a co-host. So everyone always has like a friend with them or their cat. I don't have cats. I have dogs. I have 3 dogs. This is one, Bo. He's got hurt, so you can see a little scab on his face. And he doesn't know what to do about me letting him in my chair. So he's trying to be really still and quiet so I don't make him get down. He doesn't really understand that I want him up here. Come here. Look at the camera. Come here. Anyway, this is Bo. This is Bo. Look. Look at Bo. Say hi. Here's my sweetie. He is a black-mouthed cur, which is just sort of kind of a mixed breed dog. I think they were invented. I don't know. You would have to look it up. But he's a lot of fun. He loves the tennis ball. He loves fetch. He can play that all day long. And he loves the water. He will go swimming in the lake even if there's ice, like crystals on the lake. The lake doesn't freeze over in Texas, but it will be frozen on the shoreline, and he doesn't care. He gets in the water. He loves to go swimming. He loves to chase everything. It took him a little bit to break him from chasing the chickens, but now he is great with the chickens. He's a farm dog all the way, loves to be outside, loves to get into stuff, and he is just my baby, one of them, and I love him so much. I just thought it would be fun to show him off because all of you podcasters always have your little animals, and here's one of mine. Here, help me see if I'll give him a high five. Shake. Do it. Do it. Good boy. That's a good boy. So all my dogs shake. Okay, so back to the knitting. So sorry for that tangent. I have some FOs and some spinning and a crochet project. What? I always tell you guys I'm a crocheter and then I don't crochet anything ever since learning to knit. I love knitting. And this week I was kind of feeling bad about saying I'm a crocheter and never ever having a crochet project. So I have one this week. Isn't that exciting, guys? We'll go with FOs first. I finished my Simple House slippers. I didn't want to, but I did. And they're done, and I'm happy. And they are warm. I held yarn double. Actually, I have it right here. So sorry. So this is Brooklyn Tweed Loft? Shelter. It's Shelter, sorry. Brooklyn Tweed Shelter. And this is Blue Sky Alpaca. It's just pure alpaca, and I think it's like a 2-ply. I want to say sport weight, but don't quote me on that. So I held these double, and this was actually left over from my farmhouse shawl, and this was left over from crocheting the alpaca. So stash yarn, 50 points for Gryffindor. If you watch the Inside the Number 23 podcast, she is doing a stash along, and you get points for knitting from stash. So yay! I'm actually a Ravenclaw, so if you're Ravenclaw, show me some love. Team Ravenclaw. My slippers are done, and I've been wearing these, so they have dog hair on them. You know, like you do. If you have cats or dogs, I'm sure that your yarn is dog hair mixed, and I'm going to put them on because my feet are freezing. Before I do, I have to show you. I am wearing my socks that Jacqueline sent me. They're like painted toe sandals with hairy legs. Isn't that hilarious? Jacqueline of the Brooklyn Knit Folks podcast. My buddy, she sent me a package a couple of weeks ago with these socks in it. I love them. My girls think they're hilarious. So that was one FO. So exciting. I entered those into Kemper of the Junk Yarn podcast is doing a finish in February. So you just grab a project that has been languishing, finish it up, post it And she's doing, she's got giveaways and stuff in her group on Ravelry. And sorry if I keep on looking off the camera. I know a lot of people hate that. I'm a distractible person. What can I say? I have notes down here. I have windows. My husband's upstairs working, so if you hear him get on the phone, sorry about that. It is what it is. You work with what you have, and this is what I've got. So, another FO. The rainbow socks are done, and these are for Prudence, my 5-year-old. And I entered these into the finish in February, because they're finished in February. But also, I did a lot of double dipping on this, like quadruple dipping. So, the Little Bobbins podcast is doing a little along, so you're supposed to make something little or for a little person. My 5-year-old fits the bill. These are little socks. Also, the Suburban Stitcher podcast is doing a rainbow along. Again, these are rainbow. And Molly of the Homespun House is doing a fingering weight February. Again, fingering weight socks. So I think I entered these into 4 FO threads. I just did my standard vanilla sock recipe. I actually have decided to switch to the old Norwegian cast on. It's quite a bit stretchier than the long tail. I do top-down socks, so I enjoy a stretchy top. I did the 1x1 rib on this, but now I'm switching to twisted rib. I knit the leg through 1 pattern repeat, heel flap and gusset, like you do. No big deal. I was going to do the fish lips kiss heel, but again, if this is your first time catching me, I just went to the dentist, had a bunch of work done, haven't had the mental space to learn something new. But I just finished the toes this morning. They were down to the orange, and then while watching the Knitting Broomstick podcast, I did my toes. And this one, I'm not going to show you up close, but this is the best Kitchener of my life. You guys, I've got it. I'm done. That's it. I'm perfect. I've perfected my Kitchener. I can die a happy knitter. We will not show the other one because that was the first, so yeah, it's okay. I don't mind them being a little different. But what's funny, what I will say again about these, Prudence wanted to know why they matched. She was like, why do my socks match? Because I worked really hard and unwound until they did to get them to match. She thinks knit socks shouldn't match, apparently, because she was weirded out that they lined up so perfectly. But I'm smitten with these. So happy. And I used my new from my awesome friend Marcia. She made me this in a swap she sent. She also sent me some of these, which I really think help my Kitchener. The little bent tip ones. I haven't had one of these before. I just have the straight tapestry needles. The bent tips, they're really useful. So thank you for that, Marcia. You perfected my Kitchener. I knit on size 0. I knit one of them on Magic Loop and then the other on DPNs because I'm not a 2 at a time kind of person. Or I knit them 2 at a time, but on separate needles. Yeah, not at the same time. So those are my 2 finished objects. Now, last week, I meant to show you this, but I didn't because I forgot about it. But Etrella has decided, my 10-year-old, has decided she wants to host a slumber party for spring break. Over spring break, she wants to have some of her classmates over to have a slumber party. And she made everyone that she plans to invite a sleep mask on her sewing machine and stitched their name or their first initial in a little zigzag stitch. Okay, guys? My 10-year-old. And on some of them she said that the fabric was cut or whatever, so she added patches. You see the box stitches on her little... She did these all on her own. I mean, she had a pattern out of a book. This one actually has interfacing in it. She amazes me, you guys. This one has ribbons that you can tie. She's got, like I said, one for each. This one's for her cousin. So she did all the letters because she's also inviting somebody else with a J name. And she said since her cousin's name was only 3 letters, she could do her whole name. But I'll put them on my eyes so you can see. Isn't it amazing? I am so impressed. And she did a couple of them. I already showed that one. Let's see. And then this one has a J. And she said that she wanted to change it up, so she ended up doing this one without a pattern even, because she wanted a different shape. I'm so impressed by her creativity. She just goes with it, and she made all of these and put them in this little box that I actually got in a swap, but she loves it, and she has it sitting on her little sewing machine. This came from Robin, this box. I love this box. I also have a little one that I keep some stuff in my bathroom. So what else should I show you? I will show you my spinning before I show you my whips, because this is kind of a whip. This is just a single so far that I spun off of a braid of fiber, and it's 100% merino. I found it really kind of hard to spin. I don't know whether the braid is somewhat felted, because it was just hard to draft in some areas particularly. And what I did is I broke the braid into 2, and then from there I broke it into 2 again, and then fourths. So I eighth'd it and spun half of the braid here, and then I'll spin this half on another bobbin and then ply it together. I really love these colors. And my plan was to spin this DK to worsted weight. I'm not really doing that. I'm spinning pretty thin. So even with plying it, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a sport if I'm lucky. Who knows? But I'm having a lot of fun doing this. And I've been partaking in the Make Along from Tiny Paper Foxes podcast. She encouraged you to pick a craft that you don't really utilize a lot and make progress on it, doing 20 minutes a day. So this was my 20 minutes a day. I didn't do 20 minutes a day, but I tried to. Most days, I think about 4 days a week is what I did on my spinning, which isn't bad. So that is that. And sorry, I'm going to consult my notes and take a sip. Oh, one of my Instagram friends said something I could do with this other fiber or yarn that I spun is make an Ed's animal. And that's a great idea. This year is the year of the monkey, and that brown will make a perfect monkey. And Legacy Knits, I think, is hosting a softie knit along, just make a softie. And so I think I'm going to do that. I think they're doing it for springtime, maybe next month, April-ish. I will definitely be entering a monkey into their make-along. Coffee, always coffee, hazelnut coffee, vanilla coffee. I love coffee. I drink tea, but I drink tea mostly at night as a after-dinner dessert type of thing, or like a pre-bedtime, because I'm not going to drink coffee at bedtime, though I can. It doesn't matter. I can have coffee any time of day and just go right to sleep. Caffeine doesn't really affect me that way. But this coffee's good, so I'm going to take another sip. Okay, so, I'm sorry, I'm looking down my notes. I'll show you my spinning. And we will go on to my crochet project in my alpaca or llama love bag. Love this bag. And I also have my awesome zipper pull progress keeper from my swap with Marsha. Listen to it. Isn't that pretty? It's like, it makes a tinky sound. Oh, the UPS man is coming. That means my husband's gonna go over there. He needs to be signed for. Hang on. I'm back. Okay, sorry about that. So the UPS man is taken care of, and it wasn't anything fun. It was, my husband works from home, so he gets stuff all day long. But I was saying, it's in my Llama Love You bag that my friend Mommy Sew made, and it's got this awesome Texas print on the inside that I love. I have a crochet project. Hang on, my yarn is wrapped here. So sorry, guys. Bear with me. I'll talk about the yarn first. I am using deep, deep stash acrylic yarn that is Lion Brand Heartland, and I'm using a couple of different colorways. So the green is Everglades, the purple is Hot Springs, and I'm using a yellow too, but I don't think I have the tag for that. If you want to know, message me, I'll look it up. I have the ball band somewhere, just not near me. But I will show you what I'm making first. So it is out of this book that I've had for a while. I love this book. I am wanting to make quite a few things in there. And look at Al bunting. I plan to make that for my bunting along. I'm posting a year-long bunting along. But I am currently working on the doily rug out of this. And it is crocheted using yarn held triple. And it called for a 9mm hook, but I had this really awesome glittery Addy hook, 8mm. I got this a year ago at Mad Tosh. And the only reason I know it was a year ago is because I posted a video or a Instagram photo of my spinning. I went and got some roving a year ago. And Time Hop let me know this week I've been spinning for 1 year. And that's the same day I got this hook. And this is the first time I've used it. It is so sparkly. And it's actually really enjoyable to use. With the acrylic yarn, it's really smooth. It doesn't hurt my hands at all like metal hooks do. I use a lot of furls, wooden hooks, which I've showed off before because they're ergonomic and help my hands. And I don't really enjoy the rubber gripped Addy needles at all. I find that they're just awkward and they slow me down when I'm working. But I'll set this down and show you guys what I've got done. Quite a bit. I probably would have had this done, but the last couple of rows are kind of frustrating me. And I didn't have enough of any of the one solid color to do it in a solid color, so I thought about mixing. So I did 2 strands of the yellow with 1 strand of the purple in the middle. And then this here is 2 strands of the purple with 1 strand of yellow. Then 3 strands of purple, and then it goes out to 1 strand of purple, or 2 strands of purple with 1 strand of green, and then 2 greens with 1 purple. Just to give it some uniformity. But my husband loves this. He saw me working on it yesterday, and he was fairly impressed. And he wants me to make a giant one for under our coffee table. And I told him if he'll buy me the yarn, I have no problem doing that. But I would rather it be a solid color. He and I actually argued about this fact for a while yesterday, because I would really like it just to be one of these colors, either green, purple, or gold. I don't care which of those colors, any of them would be fine, just one solid color. But he thinks it looks amazing with it all mixed. And I don't really agree that much. But I was using stash yarn, so again, yay for using stash. If you use stash, you can buy more yarn, right? Right? Yeah. And on here, I have another one of my Progress Keepers from Marsha. It's got a wing, a heart, and a pearl. I really love like the jewel, charm, stitch marker, Progress Keeper style. It blings up your project, so it just makes me happy. And that's about all I have to say about that. The last couple of rows are giving me fits, but I think it's just my issue reading the pattern and the kids talking. But I did quite a bit of this. I started it a couple of days ago and then set it down, and then did from the stitch marker, actually 2 rows back, all this yesterday. I just couldn't put it down. And I, again, would have finished it last night, but the last 2 rows were giving me fits, so I put it down and worked on my sweater for a bit. But it should be done by the end of February, so I'll be able to enter something else into the Finish in February cal. I also have, sorry, I'm consulting my notes. Now that I took that little break, my mind is not focused on podcasting anymore. Oh, I had a change of co-hosts. So this is Raji, one of my other dogs. His name is Mr. Roger. And he used to belong to my grandmother, and when she passed away, I inherited him. He wanted to come live with me and my girls, and he is such a sweetie. He's actually not a sweetie. He's an old crotchety dog, but my girls adore him, and I thought that y'all would enjoy seeing him and his funny little foxy ears. And he also has an underbite, so I post a lot of pictures of him to Instagram with his smile. Smile, Reggie. That's my boy. But again, back to the knitting, back to the knitting. So I've also just worked a bit on my ease. And I just talked about the Knitting Broomstick podcast a while ago. This is my bag that Jilly sent me. And I actually have a funny story. I have this really awesome coffee mug that's a travel mug, but it's a weird shape. I posted a picture to Instagram the other day. It spilled coffee all over my project bag. Luckily, the project inside did not get damaged because this was protecting it. But you see there's coffee on my pattern, and I always put my patterns in these. I actually learned this at my knit night group. Bo, down. You need to settle down. Come here. He's trying to attack Roger. Not attack, but play with him, and I don't want them to get riled up. But I learned about putting your pattern in these little sheet protectors at my knit night group. And it's a genius idea because your pattern still does get a little ratty, especially if you're like me and you take forever knitting a project and smush it down in your bag a million times. But it stays so much nicer than it would if you just have a sheet of paper in your project bag. So these are, you can get 100 of these for $1 at any of the shops. All right, so I guess I'm gonna get editing down this go around since I keep having to stop. We will continue. My ease, I tossed it back here. I had to let a dog out. So, I have worked on this just a bit, but then it got really, really, really warm. Again, I live in Texas, so working on a worsted weight sweater in February, you're not gonna wear it. You're not gonna wear it in February. But then it cooled down again, so I picked it up again. And I still might wear it, be able to wear it one time, but possibly not outside. It's just our winters are very short. So we will be full-fledged springtime by March. But I got done with the ribbing, and I did the Ginny's surprisingly stretchy bind-off. Maybe that's what it's called. I don't like the way it bunches up. Maybe it's just because I'm a loose knitter, and maybe it will block out to where it just doesn't look neat or refined on the bottom. I'm just not super in love with the finished edge is just not. And then on this, I was pulling tight, so that's a little better. But when I first started the bind off, it just, I don't know. And it kind of flares out. Again, maybe once it's washed and blocked, I'll have a different opinion. But right now, I did start a sleeve. I am not very far along because I've been working on all the other things. But yeah, I don't have a lot to say about it other than I haven't really done much. I love it. Oh, I will say this. So you see this crease here because I've been alternating skeins the entire time. And I was looking, I showed y'all on one of the other episodes, I showed this off, how it was kind of puckering right there, and how I switched the way I was holding it, and it stopped doing that. So it doesn't even look like I'm alternating, but right there you can definitely tell. So I was looking at the inside of it, and I see clearly what I was doing. So here, I was pulling the yarn down over the stitch, and here I was just, alternating the placement. So I would push one yarn back and then grab it under, grab the working yarn under to where it would just have that clean edge or clean seam. I don't know what you would call that because it's not an edge, it's not a seam. Yeah, so my husband husband keeps it pretty cold in the house. During the summer months, he's very hot-natured, so our air conditioning stays pretty cool. Maybe I'll be able to wear the sweater around the house. Once it gets finished, my balls are jumping out all over the place. So, yeah, I just haven't been that motivated to work on it in the warmer weather. And then, of course, yesterday, it was 40 degrees. It felt more like 20 degrees, and it rained all day. I stayed cuddled up in bed and worked on that rug the entire day, watching podcasts. I kind of needed just a relaxing me day. I know that I've been just kind of bumming around being sick, but that's not the same as just being able to not have to worry about anything and just take a day to relax and not be sick, because being sick isn't relaxing. I did want to talk a little bit about, I haven't worked on these, my patent socks, but I wanted to talk about the needles because I did not last time, like I said I would. These are Chalgu needles, and I've been using carbons quite a bit, and I really do like carbons DPNs, but their circulars do leave something to be desired. Oh, and I did want to say something else about these rainbow socks, so I'm going to get these out and talk about them again in just a second. So when I was doing these with the magic loop, you can see that there is a catch there. It's the yarn, 3 of the stitches, when I was trying to shove this back through, would just catch there, and I would have to come back and go like that to get them over it, and then knit, which is not that big of a deal, but when, I'm not trying to be speedy by any means, but when you're in the rhythm, you don't want to have to stop and move your stitches. But watch, these, I'm going to try to be careful and not pull them off, but there's not really a catch. It is catching just based on the way I'm holding it, just a little, but they just smoothly glide in and out, in and out. This cord is incredible. I think that these are going to be really durable. I mentioned a couple of my carbons have broke either on the tip or on the end, which is devastating based on how expensive they are in comparison to the Chalgu. These are $9 and my carbons are $18. So I could get 2 needles for the price of 1, and more yarn. So I just really, really enjoy Chalgu, and I think that as soon as I am able, I'm going to get a whole set of Chalgu needles. They are amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Okay, I did want to say, I think that even though I still want to learn the fish lips kiss heel, one of the biggest things people struggle with, and the reason why they do a fish lips kiss heel, is because in a heel flap and gusset, they get holes. I don't get holes. I watched a tutorial about picking up a stitch in the corner, and I do that and knit it away. I don't have a problem picking up my stitches for the gusset. Maybe it's because I'm such a loose knitter, it's just easy for me to go through there and pick up those stitches. I enjoy a heel flap and gusset, you guys, and if it ain't broke, why fix it, right? Am I right? I don't know. I still, like I said, maybe I will do the heel or fish lips kiss heel or the afterthought heel. But if it ain't broke, why fix it? Prudence is going to be so excited that I fixed those or finished those. Roger wants back in now that I let him outside, of course. I'm going to stop it again so I can let the dog in. I feel like I'm never going to get through this. Never going to get through this, guys. The dogs are being extremely distracting today. Usually I put them up to podcast in their separate crates and things so they're not distracting or wanting in, out. I didn't do that because I wanted to show you guys, and now I'm paying the price. So sorry about the stop-start and distractedness. We are going on, guys. So I talked about my needles, hooray. Let me talk a bit about the cows that I'm going to do and participate in. So first up, Eric from the Sticks Plus Twine podcast. I really enjoy his podcast. If you haven't seen it, he's a Canadian, so I just enjoy the way people from other countries speak. I just enjoy hearing them speak. Even, I mean, he speaks English, but his accent's different. It just is. And people from other parts of the US as well. People speak differently, and I enjoy it. And my accent kind of gets on my nerves at times. I know that it's really Southern. It gets way worse if I'm tired or I've been drinking. But yeah, I enjoy everything that he works on and talks about. I enjoy having a male perspective in the knitting world. And he's a Harry Potter nut like I am. So he's just an enjoyable person to watch. He is currently hosting a knit along for the Exploration Station. And I showed you guys my yarn last week. And somebody on his group, one of his viewers, created this template. You can go onto the Sticks Plus Twine group in Ravelry and find her, I think it's Kios in Wonderland. And she created this and put it on her blog so you could go and print it and color it so you could decide your color order. Because that was the hang up for me, if you guys remember watching last week, where I was like, what order should my colors go in? Oh my God, this really helped me envision what my shawl is going to look like. So I've caked up my yarn. Okay, I didn't cake it up. In my intro video, you see my husband caking up my yarn. He loves caking yarn, and I don't. I don't enjoy it because a lot of times it goes wonky like this, and I cannot handle it. My OCD does not like this. I will probably rewind this before I use it because this is just not, I don't want to look at this ugly little bump sticking out of my cake while I work on this project. So he helped me cake my yarn, and I am just going to quickly show you, if you didn't watch last week, the colors. Yes, a neon exploration station, you guys. I am so excited about my color choices. I'm going to start with the blue, go to the pink, then the yellow, and then this speckled that has all of those colors in it. So it's going to be epic. I am so excited about it. And I've been meaning to sit down and practice the brioche because that's what we're supposed to be doing right now. His cal kicks off on March 1st. So if you want to join in, there's still plenty of time to pick your yarn and practice the brioche stitch. And yeah, knit along with us, you guys. It'll be so exciting. I actually have my friend Michelle from the Naughty Knitwits podcast knitting along with me. She's had yarn, she said, in her stash for a while for this, and it takes a knit along sometimes to be able to have the motivation you need to work on a project. Oh, I have that all in my bag that my awesome swap buddy sent me, Cajun Crochet Marie. Her and I did a swap through the Diary of the Yarn Snob. Roger's making really rude noises just right there, so sorry about that. But her Diary of a Yarn Snob did a white elephant swap at Christmas. I got this awesome huge bag. It's got 4 skeins and my pattern in it, so that's awesome. I also plan to host a knit along with Jacqueline of the Brooklyn Knit Folks podcast. Now, if you watch the Fawn and the Fox podcast, Laura has been dyeing yarn, and she has this new colorway terrarium out, and she's been test knitting a pattern for the Sweater Co. She's the Sweater Co on Ravelry and Instagram, and it's this amazing stitch pattern on these socks, and it's called the Fine and Dandy socks. The pattern's not released just yet, but it will be soon, and Jacqueline and I plan to kick off our knit along on April 1st for the socks. So if you want to join, that would be awesome. I will create a thread in the group. I'm sure Jacqueline will probably create a thread in her group about it. And they're gorgeous socks. And you should definitely buy Laura's yarn for the socks because you can see her socks, her finished socks in her yarn on her Instagram, which is the Fawn Knits or the Fawn and the Fox. Either one of those. I can't really remember because she's a couple of different handles in a couple of different forums, but one of those. And her socks are gorgeous. The yarn is green, so you know it's my jam. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I actually have a kit from her on the way during my wisdom tooth extraction. I treated myself, you know, like you do when you're hurt and sick. And I have no regrets, guys, no regrets. Another knit along that I plan to do, and this is actually something that I've been thinking about for a while, and I've actually had the yarn for a while. I bought the yarn right after my mom passed away. And if you don't know, my mom passed away very unexpectedly December 7th. And she was young, she was only 49 years old. And it was, like I said, totally unexpected. And I was just having a really hard time with it. Her birthday is in January, and she had actually picked out some yarn. She bought me those sock blockers for my birthday in November. And because she bought me those, I told her I would knit her a pair of socks for her birthday. So she went through my stash and picked some yarn when she was out here in November, and I told her I would knit her some socks. And then she died, and I really became obsessed with the colorway that she picked. I just wanted it on all the bases. And it's a Madeline Tosh yarn. And on my way to her wake, I actually went into the yarn store to get the yarn to make this shawl. Because as soon as I don't know, I didn't want to knit, but for some reason, immediately I knew I needed a shawl to remember my mom by. I needed to make a shawl. I needed to make it really special and sweet. Her birthday's in January, as I said, and the yarn she picked is I'll just show you. It is Madeline Tosh Cotopaxi. So it's this speckled blue with some shots of black. It just looks like a winter day. I mean, just a really cold, gray, snowy winter day yarn. And the base that I had it on that she wanted me to knit her socks was Twist Light. And that's fine, and it would have been fine for a shawl, but I really wanted cashmere. So I went to Mad Tosh, and I knew that they only had, because I go to Knit Night, I went to Knit Night there regularly. I knew their inventory like I work there. And I knew that they only had one skein of this colorway in the cashmere. And so on my way to her wake, I knew I had to stop and get it before somebody else did, and my project was lost forever. That's where my head was. If it makes no sense to you guys, I'm sorry, but I needed to make this shawl. And so I got this yarn, and I also got this. And I know it doesn't match, but that doesn't matter to me because it will match the design of the shawl. But this is Moorland, Madeline Tosh. Again, the base is the cashmere nylon merino. I'll tell you the amounts. Sorry, I'm trying to get the tag. 80%, 10%, 10%, 80, 10, 10, fingering, okay? Moorland, gorgeous, dark green, like a pine tree green. And the reason why I got these yarns, my mom had plans to take over, that's a weird way of saying it, but my husband and I love traveling. We love traveling, but I also love the idea of having a homestead with animals and just a home. But the problem with that is you can't really travel and have lots of animals. And so my mom was going to be able to come and live. We were going to build her like a little cabin in our East Texas land to be able to stay on our property and have her own space still. That way, you know, because you don't want to live on top of somebody. But so in East Texas, we have nothing but pine trees and a cabin. We don't have a cabin there yet, but there's going to be a cabin there. And so I got this bag on Knit Picks, actually for my birthday before I even got the yarn, but it turned out perfectly for the shawl that I plan to knit, because I'm going to knit Molly of Homespun House, I'm trying to find a picture, Whispering Pines shawl. So sorry about the paper crinkles. So it is a textured stitch here, which I plan to have in this colorway. So it looks like snowflakes falling. And then the pine trees, the lace pine trees on the bottom are going to be this. And the entire time we were in New Mexico, I had this yarn. I bought this yarn before we went on our Christmas trip to New Mexico. I did not take this project with me, And the entire time I was staring at the window, at the pine trees, at the snow, just wishing I had taken this project to work on. And that was the first time that I really felt like knitting. And I did knit a couple of pairs of socks on that trip, but I just wanted to make this. And then when I got home, I thought about casting it on, and I just thought it would be more special to wait until closer to Mother's Day. That way when I'm really missing my mom, I have something to remember her by. So I'm going to host a Mother's Day shawl along. You can make any shawl you want. It does not have to be the Whispering Pines, but the Whispering Pines is a gorgeous shawl. And I plan to host that from April 1st. That way, if your mom is still living, you can gift it to her. If you have a mother-in-law, you can make it for them. If you're like me and you no longer have your mother with you and you want to make a memory piece, that is what I'm doing. And my friend Naughty Knitwits, Michelle, she is going to co-host with me, and she also lost her mom, and she plans to make a memory shawl as well. And my idea behind a memory shawl is just, you know, when I need a hug from my mom, I have this shawl to wrap around me, and I'm gonna stop before I start crying. But yeah, so I really miss my mom, and if you want to knit along with me, that would be really awesome. So I got some mail. Now that I'm gonna wipe my eyes and take a sip, gather my composure. Mr. Roger is like so small, but he takes up more room than Bo does. I'm perched on the very edge of my chair. So, oh, here's that yellow. I did bring it down. It's Yellowstone in the crochet blanket I'm working on. So I got some mail. I love mail, you guys. I love mail. Thank you so much for sending me mail. So Stephanie from the Milkshed blog sent me a Valentine and some minis. Awesome pack of minis. I have so many minis. This entire bag is full of different minis. And I actually got a book so I can record everybody's cozy memories and have an accurate little description. And I'm really thinking about scrapping this or making a doll blanket. No, I can't do that because these are from you guys. But they're not going to be going in the same direction, and that bothers me because I didn't realize I wouldn't be able to do them all like this. I don't know. Maybe I don't care. But I do. It bothers my OCD that they're not all going to be facing the same way. And I can't rip these two out now because I've already woven these three. I've already woven in the ends. Frustrating. But no one cares. I haven't even worked on it, you guys. I haven't even worked on it. I did get this book, shoved it in here. I've been collecting minis like crazy. Maybe at some point, I will sit down and work on this. I love my bag from Shop Luli on Etsy. This is such a fun bag. And I actually changed out the pull strings on it to be the measuring tape because I thought it matched the pencils really well. My Valentine. So I did a swap with a viewer. Look at this gorgeous package. Love this. And she sent me some super cute stuff. Trella wants this to work on. I said, no, it's my craft. So it's a little kit to make a little coaster and a cozy for your coffee. So cool. An awesome card. And in the card, I've got teas. I've got these cute little tags. So cute. Some jamboree. And now I haven't really used this, but now that I have some, I need to use some. And I got some from Nicole's Creative Creations podcast. Another little thing of jamboree nails. She sent my girls stickers. And there's some patterns in here too, which is awesome. I also got lollipops for the girls. This gorgeous, awesome skein of wool and silk yarn. It is trying to look at the content, sorry. I think it's, oh, there it is. 60% silk, 5% cashmere, and 35% wool. So I really want to make my friend who had a baby last year, I made them some little pumpkin booties, and I think just to be able to knit them a pumpkin hat this year for their baby, for her little 1-year birthday, that will be a super cute yarn to do so. Very pumpkin orange. And she also sent this pink yarn. Oh no. And it says 485 yards. I don't know. That's a lot of yardage. 100% wool, fingering weight. The pink is gorgeous. So, yay. Also, I think she made these. Molly, I'm sorry. Molly, did you make these? I love them. The girls want them. I told them they can't have them. They're mine. They're gorgeous. I love them. And this, we talked about reading and different stuff. I love the Hunger Games and the books, the movies. Love the Hunger Games. Atrella, again, wants this. And I think I probably will give this to her. She's got a Deathly Hallows necklace that my mom is a planner. My mom had all the girls' Christmas presents bought and wrapped before she died, before December 7th. And it was kind of weird to watch them open them for Christmas, but my girls loved everything my mom got. And the Deathly Hallows necklace was one of the things that Atrella got this year. So I think this is cool. Even Atrella was like, oh my gosh, that bag is so pretty. So I will save this and probably put it in one of my future swaps. And I saved the best for last because when I saw this, I was like, oh my gosh, I love it. You're gonna freak, like I did. Oh, she made this, y'all. It's a little tea towel, okay, with my name on it and some yarn balls. And it has a heart. I freaked. You cannot imagine. I love handmade stuff. I have my little gnome from Andy, my mitts from Melissa. I love handmade things. My pouch from Marcia. Man, knitters and crocheters are the best friends. Fiber friends are the best friends. Molly, thank you so much. I hope you like the package I sent you as much as I loved my package because, seriously, that tea towel made me want to cry. I also did the You and Me swap. Last year I did the You and Me swap. Sent my package off, got nothing in return. And then I contacted them to let them know, and they set me up with an angel person that was going to send me a swap. I didn't get anything, which it's okay. It's fine. I was happy sending my person that I sent to, loved the stuff I sent, and her and I still have an Instagram relationship, so that's awesome. I almost didn't sign up this year. I did go to sign up for FiberShare until I realized you had to pay like $5 or something to sign up. And I would have done that. I mean, it's only $5, but when I didn't get paired up with the You and Me swap with somebody that was fair, I didn't want that to happen again with something I was paying for, so I declined. And then when the You and Me swap opened back up, I thought about not doing it, but everyone was doing it, and I don't want to be left out. So I did it, and I'm so happy I did, because I was paired with the most amazing swap person in the world. She sent me so much stuff. She sent me a bag of coffee, whole beans. She sent me 3 skeins. I haven't actually used Deborah Norville Serenity sock weight. I almost bought some of this the other day, but I didn't. What's really cool is this colorway in the middle. I love this maroon color because it will always remind me of a Dr. Pepper can, which was my mom's preferred beverage. And I think all these will be enough to make my girls and me shorty socks maybe, because I just have 50 grams of each. She sent me a gorgeous braid of fiber, and it's 100% merino, 4 ounces, from the Wool Gatherings, woolgatheringsfibers.com. Isn't it just, oh, Love purple, you guys know that. She made me this little crochet daisy chain. Isn't it cute? It's just so cute. I think I need to make some. She sent me 3 balls of this yarn. Sorry, the tag's out of the way so you can see the colors. Love that color. You guys know gold, green, purple. Those are my favorites. But, you know, I buy way too much of those colors. I should buy more blue. And look, blue. And this is Australian Superfine Merino. And it is really, really squishy. It says 8 ply. I don't know what that, 142 yards. So it's 65 grams, 130 meters, 100% wool. It's so squishy. It's really awesome. I can't wait to work something up. I think it'd be really pretty to do a navy and gold Fair Isle hat for, I think those are Ravenclaw's colors, aren't they? Am I wrong? Ravenclaw is blue and gold. Maybe I'm wrong. Now I'm second guessing myself. Maybe it's silver. I have no idea, but I was thinking a Fair Isle hat for the inside the number 23s, Harry Potter along. But now I'm second guessing what Ravenclaw's colors are. Ignore me, you guys. I'm rambling. She sent me this awesome little pack of bonbons. Aren't those cute? They're all sparkly. Those are adorable. And a cross stitch. And it says, lead me not into temptation, I already know the way, and it has sweets. So I'm pretty excited about being able to work on this because I told you guys I've been wanting to learn cross stitch. And I got a place bug from Starbucks. Maryland, that's where she's at. And it's got all this little cool stuff on it from Maryland. Isn't that cool? And it's yellow on the inside. I'm so excited. That was very exciting. And I'm just so happy that I got paired with somebody that is so nice. Oh, one more thing. I was asked to talk about my Swift. This is my Tinker Toy Yarn Swift. And, sorry, I'm grabbing the other pieces. This is how I wind my yarn because I don't have bow push a Swift. So I actually glued the base so it would stop collapsing. And I don't have enough pieces, but what I want to do is put another one of these circle pieces here and put a shorter thing here and then a shorter, because some skeins are shorter and some are longer, and I was changing this out, but it's not super stable, especially when you're moving it, so it kind of falls apart sometimes. It can if you're not careful. So I wanted to hot glue this all together, but then I can't change it out. So I need to rework it a little bit, but it works. It works if you don't want to spend the money on a wooden Swift. Go to Amazon, get a box of $10 Tinker Toys, or dig through your child's toy box, and ta-da, Swift. And you can see, again, I posted my intro video is my husband using my Tinker Toy Swift. And that is, let me look at my notes, because I always say that's all, and then once I get off and look at my notes, that's not all. I have some drama llama for you guys. I told you guys I would do this new segment. I meant to grab my magnet so I could flash it. Drama llama time. I wanted to talk about giveaways. Podcasters do giveaways. Podcasters often pay out of their own pocket to go and get something. Sometimes people are gracious and donate. Bag makers, yarn dyers will donate. Not all the time, and not that often. Podcasters often go to stores, buy things out of their pocket to give to you guys. And I have done one giveaway on my podcast. I gave something from my own stash, which was a spindle. I went and bought fiber to go with this spindle and sent it to a winner. This person contacted me about a week after I sent it to say that it was crushed in the shipment. The spindle was crushed in the shipment and was pretty rude about it. I packaged it very well. I don't see how it was crushed. I did ask her to send me a picture. There was a few days delay in me responding to her because I had a sick child at the time. Because I was a few days delayed, I got another irate message from this person saying that she was ripped off from a giveaway, you guys. This is something that I gave. I don't understand how you can be ripped off in a giveaway. I was a lot more polite in my response than I thought possible. Because again, I didn't want to give my podcast a bad name. I was trying to make this right. I asked her very politely to send me a picture of the broken spindle because, again, I used to wear my baby in a sling. I sold the slings online a lot, and in that community, people would often find a flaw on the wrap and try to get a discount or some of their money back, or have a regret about buying it and try to send it back. So in order to protect yourself and PayPal and all of that, I just got in the habit of asking for pictures. So I asked her for a picture of the damaged spindle, and she dropped off the face of the earth. She deactivated. I offered to send her a spindle in the event that, it was crushed. I'm sorry. Please let me replace it. Send me a picture and I will be glad to replace it. She deactivated her account and dropped off the face of the earth. Pretty sure that was a very clear sign that she was not being honest, and that was just a real bummer to me. I didn't want to talk about it then. I didn't want to bring drama into this amazing community because there are so many people that would never do that, that would never not send a swap package when they needed to, etc. But the more I thought about it, Bo, stop barking at him. He's walking his dog. Leave it. My dog's growling because my neighbor's walking their dog. Sorry. But yeah, I wanted to talk to you guys about that because you should be appreciative. If you're a viewer of a podcast, this person takes their time out of their day to sit here and do these giveaways and to take the time to go to the thread and weed through all the people. It takes time. And I want people to understand that, not a lot of podcasters get donations. A lot of times it comes out of their pocket. And just a reminder to the community to be appreciative. You're not entitled to anything in this life. Just be grateful. Be grateful that these people care enough to do giveaways. And that is honestly why I have not had any giveaways since the first one. I didn't want to get burned again. But in saying that, I hope to gather some stuff to maybe possibly do for giveaways in the coming weeks for my cows that are coming up. And I'm sorry for bringing some drama to your llama, but it is what it is, and I really felt the need to say that. I have been trying to figure out a way to say it that didn't sound so confrontational, but there you go. And I just want to thank all of you for coming and checking me out and for commenting on the Ravelry group. If you're interested in the needle swap that I'm hosting, what I plan to do is, if you have needles that you do not use or do not want, comment on the thread, list what you have, and hopefully somebody that wants what you have will contact you to let you know what they have, and maybe we could just swap that way. I'm not real sure. I'm just playing it by ear right now and seeing how many people are actually interested in doing a needle swap. So thanks so much. I hope to see you again next week. Bye, guys.